let's look over how this smiling face is created. Before we start, I would like to mention that links to references and source code are in the description below. To your right, you will see 4 div elements. We have the face, which is the outside of the div. As you see highlighted to your left. And inside the face, I contained 3 other div elements. We have a div called I1 highlighted. You see that to your left, and I2, and then we have the smile. So the face, I set it to 400 by 400 pixels. As you go, let's look down here where my cursor is. I set it both evenly to 400 by 400 pixels, and I gave the border color black. I gave the border width 10 pixels, a border style solid. Then over here, we scroll down here, I set the face, the smile, I1 and I2 to have a position absolute, with being the left, set the position left to 50% of the screen, from the body tag. It's absolute to the body tag. Also, the border radius of 50%. Below here, you see we got the border top right, border bottom right, and border bottom left, all set to 50% from all corners. So being to set to 50%, you take half of the width and the height of the divs of all the div elements, and they both must be the same. They must have to have either, if it's just 400 by 400 or 200 by 200, and so on, to create a perfect circle. And I also have a video more about circles, and I will link that up towards the end of the video as well. And so, okay, so if we go back up, let's scroll up here. So the face also to center the face, I also had to notice that I remember we had the left set to 50%. I set the face, I set the transform property to a value of translateX to -50%. So if I uncheck this from the source, you see that it's not centered. The entire face div element is not centered, but because like if we have it, you see it's highlighted. So the left side of the div elements, the left side of the face ID is 50% coming from the left of the screen. So if I set the transform property to -50%, it will jump over to half of the face ID, the div. It'll be like half of this. You can see highlighted, half of the square. If you can split it in half, and that's where it will line up symmetrically, and and that's how you can center the face. So now we go over to where we have the two eyes. I set both two eyes to 50 pixels. You can set it any size you want, and a background image of black. So if I click on one of the eyes, let's see, you see over here where my cursor is, I set it to black, and I set, since it's all absolute position, it's inside the face ID, and I just set it to 20%. Otherwise it will just be 0. From the top of the face ID, you can set 30%. You can put in pixels or any other units or something like that. And then I had to position the eyes. Like I1 and I2. I1 being to the left. They all have a left. The left property is set to 50% from the inside of the face ID. Like if I were to see right here, set to 50% left, so if I were to uncheck this, it will be to the left, but if because since every other element is switched over to the left, because I1 and I2 is inside of the face ID, so everybody else will do this, will have a left, will follow I1 wherever it goes, to left, set to 0 if you set it to zeros. But the transform, so I'll use the transform property for I1, since I set it to a pixel, so that you have to basically see a visual view of where you want your eyes, how close your eyes you want them to be, and where to place them. And then that's how I did mine. So it's like, hold up, if you uncheck this, you see it will be the left side of that eye will be centered. But like I said, you can use percentages or pixels to adjust the left or the right side to adjust the position of the eyes, basically. That goes along with the I2 as well. For the smile, we have it's a div element where if you select the smile element, I set the border color to transparent. So every border around you see highlighted on the left, you don't see. It's because it's all transparent, no color, no nothing. But I set also the border bottom specifically to color to black, and you change any type of color you like. You can set that red, red, something like that, and all these other colors, or some other RGB color. So yeah, and that's how you. And then for the width and the height, if I uncheck the width, you see there's no width, or it'll be nothing. Yeah, so there has to be a width and a height to able to see the bottom border of that smile. And I set the top to 50%, which is, you see the top of the div element, because a div element is it's still like a box, but it's the top portion is transparent, so it's 50% from the top of the face ID, and there you go, and so it became a smile from just having the bottom border set to bottom border color set to black or any other color, and every other border are transparent. And okay, so let's head so as you see all the CSS properties, I store all of that in an external file. If you go to the head section, you see we have the link style sheet, and I named it smilingface.css. So all the CSS styling is in this file. Like if you can, let me open up the VS Code. So, and this is where I develop my the HTML, and then we have all the properties and set in this file. There you have it. Thank you for watching. We have completed our lesson. You are welcome to subscribe, comment, and share. You may go to the comment section of the video or the discussion section in the area of my channel homepage for a request on any web programming lessons or projects you would like me to show you. Free to code anything.